In on the show. Chakri, hi there. Thanks so much for taking time out. And I guess the expectation was that there would be some action from SEBI in the derivatives market, but it was a lot of other announcements that did come about. Did that come as a surprise to you?
Good morning. In this market conditions, I think no news is good news. Some of the changes were, I guess, not really necessary at this point in time. Rights issue, shortening the timeline, etc. is okay. But T+0 for FII investors is actually quite a difficult thing because of the difference in time zones. So the net of all these things, I think it's good that, there are not too many changes.
But let's get in a sense as to what your outlook is when it comes to the entire auto space, owing to what the expectation is then for the month of September. Do you think that better rural sentiment could potentially aid growth? You've got M&M's tractor sales that have actually disappointed, coming in below the pole at 43,201 units. So what's the expectation this time around when it comes to the passenger vehicles, the CVs, and the auto sales numbers?
Yes, I think, Escort's Kubota, I think, is a good one to look at. The company benefits from farm equipment sales that will kind of pick up. And plus, in addition to because of the Kubota access to new products, it enlarges the whole canvas of products that they can offer, which is quite good, and lowers the cyclicality of the business. So, on second, two-wheeler sales will continue to be strong, 12, 13, 14%. Depending on the company. Bajaj and TVS Motors, I think, still will continue to be strong. On the other hand, passenger vehicles, some amount of inventories are building up clearly. And so whether the dealer profitability will go down doesn't really affect OEMs. So I think, Maruti will tread water. Commercial vehicle sales, on the other hand, have not picked up.
Okay. Meantime, what's your take on gold loan companies? Because the Reserve Bank talking about several irregular practices in loans against the pledge of gold ornaments and jewelry, weakness in monitoring of loan-to-value ratios. Is this going to have a detrimental impact when it comes to the stock prices?
I don't think so. I think this is fairly well articulated. It's been on the RBI's radar for quite some time. Gold prices have reached record highs, and therefore also, the amount of people taking gold loans against that has also matched with that. And in a turning economic cycle upwards, people taking loans will also increase. So I don't think that this is a well-flagged event. So I doubt it'll have any big impact on the stock prices.
Let me get in a take on the Chakri, curious to get in your take. I wonder if you had a look at the Economic Times this morning, because Kotak Bank's managing director says that they aim to be the #3 private bank by the year 2030, the fourth largest profitable private bank in the country. And Ashok Vaswani also saying that they will be scaling up their operations, they will be using technology and grow organically and inorganically. How are you looking at the pecking order and the kind of projections and vision for Kotak Bank?
Kotak Bank clearly has always been a marquee bank. Their net interest margins have been amongst the best in the industry. Their approach to banking was always more niche versus the HDFCs and ICICIs of the world. And then the whole host of management changes happened, and now you have a new external person heading the company, and a bunch of existing management who have left or leaving the company. So there is some amount of management churn, and until that settles down, I think, and then after that, we will see the Kotak regain its strength.
Okay, that get in your take as to what my colleague Varun just flagged off, talking about the consumption space and what it means for the likes of a Dabur, a Havells, a Crompton, GCPL, etc. What is your outlook? What's the expectation when it comes to rural demand recovery?
I think if we split down consumer into, let's say, 2 or 3 categories, one is, of course, let's say the PVRs of the world. We're going into the fall season, lots of new releases, lots of new festivals. I think there you will see an uptick, whether it's in the tier 1 cities or going down the chain. Yes, it's not truly rural, but it's still semi-urban. Second, in terms of, as far as Havells and Crompton is concerned, all these companies are trying to be all things into all people, and they've gotten into different segments. Now, today, Havells makes started off as a cables company, today has lighting, fans, and other gadgets. And Crompton has expanded into the other segments. So, which means the margins for the whole industry will come down, which means the multiples for the whole industry will come down. Against this backdrop, I think, we need to look at the stocks with a lower outlook, and therefore I'll stay away from the sidelines. Now, as far as Godrej Consumer is concerned, I think, it's always well, even though it's supposed to be a stable demand kind of a thing, we haven't seen the traction. So I still stay away from the stock.
Staying away from some of.
Right, on that note, Chakri, we're going to let you go. Thanks so much for joining in and sharing with us your thoughts on the markets.